Hi guys. Okay, so it seems like pizza is out in full force the last few days. He did a community event on the 2nd. Oh my gosh. I was so excited because one of the things that I have been like pushing for is a lot more transparency when it comes to the server and things because just in general, things appear to be figure it out on your own. That's the way it's kind of been for the last year. And that's one of the reasons why I make these videos to tell you a little bit about the server, how things work as I figure them out and find out and whatever. Anywho, he did something that he has never done before, and that was a community event, a Q&A on the Discord. That was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Now, out of, we have the 5,500 players that are currently on Mineville Zeka this moment when I logged on, and the 2,900 on Mega, plus, well, probably the same people, 170,000 people in the Discord where this community event took place, 240 players joined. As I sit here and I go through it, if you watch my game chat, when you see on my game screen, you'll also see that he's currently doing a giveaway. So you kind of get an idea of what's going on during his giveaways if you check out my game chat over there in the corner. I wanted to cover some of the things that he had gone over in this community discussion. It was really nice. It wasn't him like going in there and lecturing to us or anything. It was Q&A. He brought players in. They got a chance to ask questions, talk to him about certain things, make suggestions. The primary purpose was to focus on Zeka and improvements to Zeka and Mega SMP with the upcoming Mega SMP Season 3 drop. That's going to be going on. He does not have a date for it. But a lot of other players from Earth came in, and so I kind of wanted to cover with you guys a little bit of what was discussed. Okay, so I feel like one of the things that I should do is apologize for the length of this video. His community event was an hour and a half long, and there were a lot of topics that were covered. And then, of course, you're going to have my commentary on this. So forgive me for the length. If you want to jump to a particular topic, I would suggest going down into the description here, and I have time-stamped specific topics if you would like to look into them. Some of them I went into a little more in depth, into others just to give a little background and a little more explanation and context on that particular topic if I happen to know it. Some things I know, some things I don't. All right, let's get into it. Now, one of the things that he had talked about was the Java mechanics here on the server. So currently, this is a Bedrock featured server, and I don't have an entire understanding of it, but it is run through Geyser, and it has Java mechanics. As you can see on my screen, I have the little Java cooldown bar, and there's a lot of other little mechanics here around the server. Things like armor stands can't be posable. You don't dye your tipped down arrows in the cauldron and things like that. But I believe it's the PvP mechanics that the players are a lot more concerned about. What he did say was Geyser can be a little bit buggy. And so it gets laggy. It's part of one of the reasons why we have issues with losing our inventory or items, things of that nature. So they are going to move off of Geyser. It's going to be a little more Bedrock oriented. Exactly what that means and how that's going to affect everything, I am not 100% sure. I did see a lot of players in the discussion. Mind you, I don't PvP, but they were very concerned about Crystal. I don't know much about the difference between Bedrock Crystal and Java Crystal. So obviously that was a concern with some of the players, and exactly how that's going to affect it, I don't know. But that was one of the things that he had planned in order to improve the performance here on the server. One of the other things that he had discussed is pets, particularly when you are PvPing with your pet. So, for example, here, the desert cactus pet, he has a passive resistance, passive fire resistance, and then he will help you kill mobs. So there are other pets, and every pet has different features. So as you can see here, we have a unicorn pet. He gives you speed, regeneration, and luck. Every pet has different characteristics, and some of them make it very, very difficult to PvP. So the pets that are coming out of the bundles are giving you buffs, which is great, but when you're in PvP, I believe one of them gives you blast protection, which makes it really hard to kill you during Crystal and is not making the player base happy. So they are talking about buffing the pet, or nerfing the pets, sorry. I don't know. Now, this suggestion came from Mega players, and I should mention, Mega players don't have custom enchants on their vault items. So see here on my War God sword, I have War Cry and War God's Blessing. They don't have that. They don't have those custom enchants. So that may or may not be part of the issue as to why pets are such an issue over on Mega. They're a lot more PvP oriented. Now, if he nerfs the pets on Mega, I don't know if that will carry over here to Earth or not, but it was something that was discussed. Bundle refreshes. As you saw me in my last video, I believe, where I had discussed bundles, currently the only people who have refreshes are the patrons. And the bundles do not refresh. He did say that was intentional. He did set it to not refresh when he implemented the set guaranteed legendary. So, as I said in my last video, luxury bundles. Open 5 luxury bundles, you are guaranteed to get a legendary. Open 10 daily bundles, you are guaranteed to get a legendary. Here's my issue. My luxury is currently set on a shovel. A trench shovel, which sounds cool if I'm digging, but I am currently not digging anything. I don't particularly have a use for a trench shovel. At one point, my luxury was stuck on a singular sponge. My group has 2 stacks of sponges. I don't need a single sponge. If I was more of a pay-to-play, pay-to-win type player where I bought a lot of bundles, I'm not going to drop $7 to get a sponge that I can go get, that I can buy off of Auction House with in-game money. I'm just not going to spend real money for it. That's just my personal preference, no judging. But it was for a sponge that I could very easily get in-game. So I had suggested to him it needs some sort of refresh. And he did say that that would probably come back. Now, whether that means that the refresh would be once a week, once a day, couple of hours, I don't know. He didn't give a time frame. But I did tell him I felt that it needed at least a refresh of some sort. Also, in the daily bundles, it used to be that you could get a hero rank. There are currently no ranks in any of the bundles at the moment. You used to be able to get demi ranks in your Eternals, in your luxuries. You used to be able to get a hero rank in your dailies, which was a wonderful way for free-to-play players to at least get a hero rank where they could mine spawners, where they could have a couple of extra auction houses. It was very nice. There's currently no way in game to get ranks like that. So he did discuss possibly adding the ranks back into the bundles. Switch users. Oh my gosh, poor Switch users. I know some of my good friends that play here on Earth play on a Switch, and it seems every single time Minecraft does an update, they have issues joining Mineville. Apparently, it's a memory issue, and it's specifically to the Switch 1 users, and the Switch not having enough memory to accommodate not only the server and all of that stuff, but everything that's being added to Minecraft as a whole. But it was nice to at least have this brought up, and Pizza did address it and actually said it was a memory issue. Oh, you know, at least that was a solid answer. I will definitely give them that, because it's very frustrating as a player where they're like, yeah, sorry, we're fixing it. Yeah, we're looking on a hot fix. Yeah, we're talking to Microsoft. Microsoft is saying, Yeah, it's a Mineville thing. Mineville saying it's a Microsoft thing, you know, and you just feel like nobody really knows what's going on. But to actually have an answer and be like, you know what, Minecraft's kind of getting to the point where maybe the Switch doesn't like it. And so they have fixed a bit of it. Currently, it is fixed. There are some little issues and some gameplay mechanics that mostly visual that Switch users have had to sacrifice in order to be able to get in Mineville, but at least they are able to now currently get in game, probably until the next Minecraft update, I'm sure. But it has been, oh gosh, I think one of my friends, she went on 10 days not being able to join and is now able to join. So that's wonderful. Now, one of the suggestions that Bisco had brought up to Pizza was to bring back our PvP arena. I wish I had a clip of the actual arena. I do not. But he took it away when he created the war zone at spawn. And for the longest time at the beginning of Earth, it was drop inventory at spawn. And the Earth players, the OG Earth players, the original ones, wanted a place to play, and one of the players actually took on, or a team of players actually took on a project to create the actual PvP area from season 1. Unfortunately, there was a little falling out and it never got completed. But one of the things that Bisco told Pizza was to bring back our PvP arena. And he says, I don't know what the issue is. I mean, you guys got your war zone and it's keep inventory and everything. And back to kind of not understanding the mentality of Earth players, we are very sentimental and would really rather have our arena back. So he did say that he would look into it because we were like, it's kind of not the point. They really enjoyed the arena. I just stopped by here. As you could see, they had a little falling out here, and it's been griefed, unfortunately, because this was an absolute beautiful area, kind of a tribute to our old PvP arena. But hopefully, we end up getting it back. That may mean that we have the two areas. We may end up having like initially, he brought it back. It was so weird. He brought it back, but he brought it back for like one day and then just turned around and decided to shut the inventory off at the war zone so that Earth players could play. So hopefully we will have both of them. That would be really nice for those of you that want to, you know, kind of have a drop inventory in one area, but then have the other area be keep inventory. That would be cool, but the discussion was brought up, so I feel the need to kind of say it. Okay, we're going to pop on over here to Mega for a second. One of the suggestions that I saw a lot of was changing the Mega spawn back to the old spawn. Now, I don't really Mega, and I don't come over here to Mega very often. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the difference is between this spawn and the other spawn. Why do they like the other ones better? Why there was so many players saying, no, we want the old spawn, we want the old spawn. I don't know. And Pizza even had the same question as to exactly what was it about the season 1 spawn that you guys liked so much better than the season 2 spawn. And because he's going to go into season 3, I'm sure it is definitely something that he wants to look into. And maybe season 3 might end up with a completely different spawn or incorporate the things that mega players like. He did say, you know, to kind of let him know the best way to do that would be through the suggestions tab on the website, the NPVP website. I am going to leave a link in the description for the suggestions page on the NPVP website. So if that is something that you are concerned about, interested in, would like to make an update, let them know, yeah, here's the things about season 1 that are different from season 2 and why I like season 1. Or if you have a little bit of feedback concerning that, I'm going to leave that link in there so that you can let Pizza know, and possibly he can change it for season 3. Now, one of the things that did come up when Pizza was talking about adding ranks to the bundles was also the AFK Zone. I did do a video on this in season 1. Are you going to let me in here, guy? Oh, there we go. Okay, I was moving. So one of the things I said about the bundles was ranks being added back to the bundles, and he did talk about other ways to get things. Currently, and I haven't done a new video on this for this season, but it is very similar to the way that it was last season. So this is the AFK room. Sit in here and you can earn a gem. 5 minutes in here gives you 1 gem, and then you can take your gem and you can go spend it at the gem shop. If you look at the gem shop, you can get these. I did a video on it. It has not really changed since season 1, so I haven't really done a whole lot with this. But for a lot of players, what they've been doing is they will create alts. So this concept also piggybacks on something else that Pizza said during the community event. So players will make alts, and then you put your alt in AFK room. Your alt will earn gems, and then you can go off and you can play the game, or AFK your spawner at your base or something along those lines. There's literally nothing you can do in here. You can't even sit in auction house. You go to spawn, you check the gem shop. That's all you can do from AFK room. So what he was talking about doing was possibly, instead of having the AFK room, having players be able to earn something depending on how long they play the game. So let's just say, and I'm going to be making this up because I don't know what it's going to look like, but this is how I understood it to kind of sort of work, was let's say you play the game for an hour and then you'll earn a gem, and then after 2 hours you'll earn another gem, and then eventually you could take these gems and you can go somewhere and buy them. That's kind of what I'm envisioning, understanding from what he said, where you're earning something as you play the game. His overall goal is to have you play as opposed to, I'm going to make this massive farm and I'm going to sit here and AFK, and then I'm going to make millions of dollars being able to just AFK. He would actually like his players to be in game and actively playing the game, which is one of the reason, not the only reasons, but one of the reasons why pistons don't work here. Because if pistons did work here, we're going to set aside the fact that you can use pistons for a lot of duping mechanisms. If pistons worked, then you can make a massive, massive auto farm, and then that's it. Just sit there and AFK your auto farm. That's one of the reasons. I did think it would be nice, considering how long I spend in the game, because I don't do a lot of alts. That's just my personal preference. There's players out there with 1 million alts. Okay. And that has to do with the AFK room. Okay, so next I feel I need to give a little bit of background. Currently, when you join the game, you're given 25 claims. 25 claims is actually pretty big for a start. Last season, we started with 5. So it's substantially larger. And even then, because a lot of people here on Earth like to build, what they have been doing is they will create alt cities in order to have more claims. So you take that 25, you make yourself 3 alts, you now have 100 claims, you co-op each other, and then you now have 100 claims to build on. Pizza is aware of that, and he did make a comment about that. I think that's kind of a concern in the back of his head. If he's going to change anything, what he's going to change, I don't really know. But he did just make a random comment about, yeah, I'm aware that people make alts in order to claim up other areas. Players also use alts for a lot of other things as well. whether it be to check your alts for the bundles, whether it be to gift yourself. They do it for a variety of reasons, but claims being one of the issues. So I feel I'm just going to include it in this video just because he made the comment. What he's going to do with it, if he's going to do anything with it, I do not know. He did not elaborate. But, well, but keep in mind that he's aware. And so something may or may not change with that. One of the other things that came up that Pizza said he is looking into is possibly nerfing spawners somehow. Because what is happening is, first off, you had all those players that bought spawners outright. See, now you got to get them in bundles. You can't buy them directly like you used to be able to. You had a lot of players that came over from season 1 that had purchased spawners with tons and tons of spawners, made these massive farms. So they came over with their spawners that they had from season 1. And even in the beginning of season 2, they were still purchasing spawners, so they have all those. Now, of course, they also have the spawners that they're getting out of their luxuries in Eternal now. But it's not crazy hard to get your hand on a couple of spawners if you want to drop the money. So he's talking about nerfing them somehow. Exactly how he's going to do it, I don't know. Ideas that he had thrown out. I'm going to say it's an idea. May or may not change. My disclaimer. He may or may not do what he said. He did talk about nerfing. Now, how would be the big question. He mentioned maybe putting some sort of timer on it so it expires. So it would be very similar to a chunk hopper. The other option that he had tossed out was maybe doing some sort of system where you need to charge it. So you would have to go out and grind for something, somehow, and then charge your spawner in order to keep it working. Now, whether those are going to be the solutions that he uses or if he's going to come up with something completely different, don't know right now. I can say that if I am remembering correctly, he doesn't plan on changing it like this second. And a lot of the changes that we were talking about in this community discussion probably won't take effect until after the reset on Mega, which does not have a date. I think they said that they were looking at sometime towards the end of July-ish. Ooh, see, look at the little pet, Spike. Oh, that's kind of a cool name. So you probably won't see any of these changes until then. I think right now their attention's more focused on Mega and the reset and things of that nature. Okay, so for this next thing, I feel like I need to give a little bit of background. One of Pizza's plans for Earth is for it to never reset. If you went back and you saw my reset video, he has said he does not plan on resetting Earth. One of the reasons the reset was necessary was, first off, he completely redid the NPVP website. And the website is now there's just so much information on there. You can look up cities, you can look up where people have their claims, you can look up what have they been putting on auction house, player profiles, vault items, suggestions. I mean, like your tickets, everything is on that website. And he needed to be able to what's the word I'm looking for? Like they needed to be able to talk to each other. That's so not the right way to put it. But he needed the game to be able to talk to the website so that the website can accurately reflect the information. I want to say synchronize. That might not be the right word. It's not coming to my mind, and I'm not going to think that hard. But anyways, in order to do all of this stuff and add all of the features that players had been requesting, he needed to reset Earth. It needed to be completely redone. It just was not compatible with the way that it was currently programmed at that time. That being said, now that we're all on the new system, he plans on not resetting it. Another one of his goals is getting players to actually play. I have already said that he doesn't want you sitting around and sitting in an AFK room, not the room, but just AFK in your farms and making millions and millions of dollars. So, to that end, since season 2 has started, he did change a lot of things. You used to be able to buy auto sell chests directly. You cannot do that. You now need to buy a bundle in order to win it. What was the other item? There was chunk hoppers. Again, you need to buy a bundle in order to win it. Okay, these were things that gave the larger players advantages, and they were able to make tons and tons of money by purchasing those items. We are, how far are we into Earth? It resetted up in June. Oh, no, I was wrong. It resetted in like the beginning of March. We are 3 months into Earth, and already there's players on the server that have billions of dollars. A combination of buying vaults, flipping vaults on auction house, um, massive AFK farms, billions of dollars. Now, you look at that and think about the new players, where you're starting. Think about how there is to get money on the server. Um, think about what is going to happen to the economy in, I don't know, a year. If 3 months in you have players with billions of dollars, what's going to happen to the economy in a year? Okay, so I think one of Pizza's moves is to try to slow things down economy-wise, and that was the change behind the chunk hoppers, the sell chests. If you go into shop, this is where we sell our drops to the server. Like, for example, the farming shop. Let's see. You used to be able to have massive cactus farms they were only $6 a piece, but when you have a massive cactus farm at $6 a piece, cactus farms were making bank for people. He's now nerfed it down to 10 cents. So he's adjusted the prices on some things. But one of the suggestions that I had given him was, since you actually want players to play and things like that, maybe to nerf some of the less AFKable type farms, AFKable type drops, or the non-AFKable drop crops. I think I said that right. Things like, let's say, a pumpkin farm. Since we don't have pistons, I really don't know of a way to AFK a pumpkin farm. So maybe nerf the prices on pumpkins or melons. Glowberries would be another one that just comes to mind, just off the top of my head. I'm not giving this a whole lot of thought. So that was one of the things that was discussed. Okay, well, there was one other thing that got brought up that I feel like if I delved into it and my thoughts on it, it would make this video way long, and I feel like this video is long enough as it is. I am so glad that you guys sat around and listened. I honestly hope that pizza does a lot more of these type of events. I really enjoyed it and having the insight. To be quite honest, sometimes I kind of feel pizza and I got a little love-hate relationship, although I've never actually talked to him and sat down and had a discussion with him or DM'd him or anything like that. I just feel like sometimes I'm a little bit of a thorn in his side, and I don't really mean to be. I think part of it has to do with the lack of transparency and maybe not understanding his perspective and where he's coming from and needing to look at things differently. But overall, I did really enjoy this event. This is the first time he did something like that in a year, and being able to actually talk to him and listen to him other than the random comments that he pops in the Discord and says every now and then. It really, really was an enjoyable event. So I definitely hope that he does more. He did say that he would do more, hoping to see them. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, the whole event was supposed to be, hey, improvements for Zeka and for Mineville. Or I mean, not Mineville, but Mega, and the upcoming changes to there. And I feel like the Earth people just kind of took over a bit. I mean, there was a bit that affects Mega as well, but not so much on Zeka got discussed, which was just interesting. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, stuff got done, players got heard. So I guess I can't complain on that level. I really enjoyed it. So uh, yeah, that's what went on, and so I guess we're going to be having some changes. Exactly what it is, don't know just yet, but that's what happened in the community event. If you were not there, maybe you can join next time if it's something you're interested in. Definitely would have to keep an eye on the Discord under events. So there's that. I hope you enjoy my videos. Like and subscribe. Bye.